Hi there YouTubers, welcome back to my channel, Workshop Fun. Wow, I'd just like to post a quick update because it's been probably a couple of months now since I posted a video, and I just thought I would share an update of how it's been going, what I've done, and a little bit of revising that I've done as well. So to get started, I touched on the new fan briefly in my last video. So this is my main hatch fan for drawing all the hot air out of my caravan during the day in summertime. So I bought this big new fan from AliExpress. It was an expensive fan, but it's 12 volt and it's variable speed, so PWM they call it, pulse width modulation, and it means now that in the summertime, through the controller that I got, it'll adjust the speed and draw the amount of air out that's needed through the temperature of the controller, so the thermostat on the controller. So getting right to that, this is the controller that I ended up settling with through Ali. You can buy these hatch fans as all-in-one, you know, for caravans, but I just kind of wanted to do my own custom thing. So I fed the wiring through the hatch here and into the fan controller, and I set up the thermostat and just created my own little custom on and off switch box and put this on and off switch into it. So it all works good. And so it's gonna start up now. Oop, whoopsie daisy. Gosh, typical. There we go. These things are always a little bit tight, but there we go. I won't open the hatch right now because it's pouring down with rain. I even bought this little wiring net stuff that goes over the wiring, and then you just heat shrink both ends and it holds it there and it just makes the wiring look more professional. And then I made up a little plastic shroud to go around the hole that I put in for the wiring to feed through. And then I used a piece of veneer, I guess you'd call it, or very fine ply that is out of this caravan that matches all the cabinetry, and I made that to cover the wiring that goes to this. So that's all done now and it's all working fantastic. Now this fan I think can put out 540 cubic feet per minute, whereas my other fan that I had only did 100. And of course, as the temperature goes up, the little thermostat there detects it and goes back to the controller, and of course the fan speeds up, and if it goes down then the fan slows down. So yeah, that's all working great. I kept the mounting brackets a lot simpler this time for this fan. I didn't get all fancy and use stainless steel. I just bought some nice flat bar steel, as thin as possible to not interfere with the airflow, of course. And I undid the actual top part of this hatch from its housing, and I was able to screw the flat bar into the top of the hatch underneath its lid, and then I just screwed the lid back on, and now it's all tickety-boo, works nicely. So that's all going great now. I'm very pleased with that, and of course the netting still covers, so that was all something that I had to measure out before I bought this big fan, but yep, it all works. And one thing I like about this fan is it's guaranteed for an awful long time, and it's all aluminium housing. It's not a plastic fan, so really good quality. It was expensive, but well worth it. I think it was $100 New Zealand, this fan, plus might have been a bit of shipping on that too, like $20 or something, but very well worth it. It came with these grates and some screws, but I got some better screws and used them instead. Okay, moving right along, the other thing that I've just done is I have these whole house filters that filter my tank. So as the water comes in, it comes in through these filters and then goes out and back up into the freshwater tank. So basically I'm pre-filtering the water before it even gets into the tanks, which is good. And then so this takes it down to 10 micron, and then my kitchen filters knock it down to 0.5 micron. So I actually already had one of these installed, but that was this one, and this has a special filter in it that takes out the manganese from the water, so basically the iron. But on its own I found that it was getting clogged up quite quickly. So then I was very lucky and I managed to find this second-hand but unused housing on the internet for very cheap, and it matches nicely with my current one. So they're both 10-inch jumbos, and now I hooked that on, hooked that up in series with this one, and now basically the water comes through here, gets filtered through the debris filter, which is 20 micron, comes through here, and any iron gets taken out through the special filter that's specifically designed to take out the manganese from the water, and then it goes out and through into my tank. So that was a bit of hard work. I just plumbed it in because I already had this set up, so I just bought a bit of PEX pipe and a couple of crimps and bought the additional fittings that I needed for this bit and hooked all that up. And today I just installed these matching stainless steel brackets onto the filters, but I actually had to, not that you'd know now, but I actually had to very carefully modify these stainless steel brackets because for underneath here the brackets are too tall. So I cut them down to exactly the same size each one, so they're basically twins, and then I drilled 2 new holes to the same, distance and depth as the existing holes. So basically now they just are modified for the caravan but look completely factory, these stainless steel brackets. So that's great. With the new filter, I didn't get carried away with a great big block like I did with this one. It's a bit unnecessary. I think with this one I overcomplicated that block, but anyway, it doesn't matter now. But with this one I just pin nailed in a nice bit of pine that's thick enough to do the job, and it made sure it was in line with the first filter. And now that's all done and it's all up and running, so happy days. And of course it just hides away underneath my bed. It doesn't take up that much extra storage space because I can still store all my products in between the filters, so that's brilliant. And yeah, I shouldn't have to worry about this system ever stuffing out or anything like that because I've used brass fittings and the PEX pipe in the middle, which is well and truly strong enough to handle everything. So yeah, that's another good job done. There hasn't been that much else lately. There's been one big bit though that I've done outside, and I had a leak in the caravan underneath the caravan, like underneath the actual floor, and it had always been there, but when it was in the workshop of course the caravan dried out and I never saw this particular leak, so I had to fix that, and that ended up being a big job because basically I had to take out or grind out a bit of the plastic because that had cracked in behind the caravan, and molded in some fiberglass into it, and then had to reshape it and then reinforce it, and then that basically fixed the leak. And then also when I did that, I had to take off the trim that goes right the way across half of the rear of half of the caravan's length on this side here, this side, and had to reseal all underneath where that trim sits, and also then reseal the trim back on and clean all that up. And also I got aluminium plate underneath there, which is undersealed over as well, and I made sure all that was sealed underneath the caravan as well. So I took all that off, cleaned up everything, and then resealed or sealed that all on, so no condensation can get between the aluminium and the old flooring. So it makes it good and strong, and also completely sealed from all the elements. So anyway, that's really about it for now. I haven't really done anything on my solar system. The new inverter is working perfectly, so basically I just walk away now and it does its own thing. It sorts itself out. I am plugged into shore power at the moment, but my inverter is set to only take 6 amps from the shore power to assist it, and then the battery bank and the solar does the rest. So even now in the winter, my solar is still doing a lot, which is really good. Okay, well that's about all for now, and I'll post another video when I got more to say. But until then, everybody keep well, keep safe, and enjoy yourselves. See ya.